Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to present before this Honorable House the National Development Plan 12 for the agricultural sector. This plan charts a new era for Botswana's agriculture, an era of innovation, resilience, and value creation that positions the sector as a driver of economic diversification, food security, and export growth. Under NDP 12, our true north is to transform Botswana's agriculture into a diversified, resilient, and export-oriented sector that achieves food security, reduces imports, and drives economic growth. This transformation is not merely a policy aspiration. It is a moral and economic imperative. It speaks to the dignity of every household that depends on the land, to the resilience of our farmers who produce under difficult conditions, and to the national resolve to feed ourselves and contribute to regional and international markets. Mr. Speaker, the approach to this proposed plan is not simply to seek funds, but to pursue confidence and continue partnership in the new phase of agricultural transformation. Mr. Speaker, the 2025-2026 fiscal year marks the start of NDP 12, guided by a three-set thinking approach. 1 is change management, 2 is productivity transformation, 3 is economic contribution. This new direction moves Botswana from subsidy-driven dependency towards enterprise-driven empowerment, aligning agriculture with national objectives of economic diversification, food sovereignty, and employment creation. Key enablers for this transformation include, Mr. Speaker, 1, the policy and legal reforms, 2, agricultural financing and insurance, 3, research and development, and 4, public-private partnerships. Mr. Speaker, the sector remains guided by critical cross-sectional priorities that reinforce inclusivity and sustainability. 1, Mr. Speaker, is climate-smart agriculture. 2 is gender and youth inclusion. 3 is employment creation and skills development. 4 is performance and accountability. Mr. Speaker, land is a key driver of growth, and by applying the National Special Plan and Special Development Code, the sector ensures the sustainable use of this for inclusive economic development. Water security is also, Mr. Speaker, to be prioritized through borehole development, rainwater harvesting, and irrigation infrastructure, particularly under the Agro-Zambezi project. The Botswana Agricultural Land Restoration Project is instrumental, Mr. Speaker, in restoring degraded ecosystems and promoting climate-resilient land management. Mr. Speaker, the proposed NDP 12 focuses on accelerating transformation and introduces a modernized approach anchored on 5 strategic priorities. 1 is the agricultural commercialization and value chain development. 2, sustainable land management. 3, climate-smart agriculture and resource efficiency. 4, digitalization, innovation, and evidence-based decision-making. 5, inclusivity and equitable participation, especially for youth and women. Mr. Speaker, as part of government's broader agenda for economic diversification and sustainable growth, the agri sector continues to play a pivotal role in transforming livelihoods, strengthening food security, and contributing to national economic resilience. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to outline key strategic priorities. 1, Mr. Speaker, is promoting commercialization and diversification of agriculture. Our diversification agenda is anchored on the production and export of key agricultural commodities. The sector is prioritizing dairy production, livestock and crop production, horticulture, apiculture, aquaculture, and fodder production. The sector is also promoting high-value and niche commodities such as cannabis, cotton, safflower, moringa, and other products, Mr. Speaker, with export potential. These initiatives are designed to position agriculture as a competitive and sustainable contributor to Botswana's GDP and employment creation. Under enhancing vaccine production, Mr. Speaker, the BVI remains a very critical player in the animal health and biosecurity. Efforts are underway to improve operational efficiency through increased plant availability and enhanced regulatory compliance. The goal is to expand vaccine production capacity and diversifying vaccine portfolio, transforming BVI into a competitive multinational enterprise. And the establishment of centers of excellence, Mr. Speaker, the sector is establishing centers of excellence across the country to build capacity in service delivery, technology adoption, and business innovation. These centers will serve as hubs for training, mentorship, and hands-on demonstration, empowering farmers and agripreneurs throughout the value chain. And the value chain and agro-industry development, Mr. Speaker, in line with government's commitment to industrialization, the sector continues to promote value addition through private sector-led investments. This approach seeks to transform agricultural outputs into high-value products, thereby creating employment, supporting rural industries, and increasing export competitiveness. And agricultural financing and insurance facility, Mr. Speaker, to strengthen access to finance. The sector will establish an agricultural financing model and a captive insurance facility. This institution will provide structured, transparent, and market-oriented financial solutions, including insured loans, crop and livestock insurance, drought relief mechanisms, flexible repayment options, and credit life insurance. These interventions, Mr. Speaker, will safeguard farmers from unforeseen shocks and improve sector resilience. Mr. Speaker, under employment, labor standards, and inclusivity, the agri-sector will promote decent work, inclusivity, and workplace safety. This, Mr. Speaker, will enforce labor-related policies that support fair employment, gender equality, and the inclusion of youth, women, and persons with disabilities and other marginalized groups in the agricultural enterprises. And improving access to markets and quality standards, Mr. Speaker, to ensure universal market access for Botswana's produce and advance sustainable development and food prosperity. The sector will establish policies and governance frameworks that align with producers with international quality standards, that is your GAP and your farm assurance schemes. And it will also invest in building, accelerating laboratory capacity at NADI, at BVI, and plant health. Mr. Speaker, under digitalization of agriculture, the sector is advancing digital transformation through investment in enabling technologies, automation of land delivery and agricultural processes, ICT infrastructure upgrades, and capacity building in digital literacy. Mr. Speaker, under infrastructure development and water access, infrastructure development must be guided by sound spatial planning. To boost productivity, strategic investments are being made in agricultural infrastructure, access routes to production areas, storage facilities, laboratories, testing centers, and transport networks. Water access remains our top priority. The sector is promoting sustainable water management through rainwater harvesting, farm ponds, efficient irrigation systems, and construction of dams and boreholes for irrigation and livestock watering. Under seed and input security, Mr. Speaker, to ensure seed and input security, a national seed bank and input substitute program focused on drought-tolerant and indigenous open-pollinated seeds is being established. This sector, Mr. Speaker, also promotes propagation of underutilized species, such as mushrooms, morama, tepe, khengwe, singaparile, while promoting organic fertilizer production and access to certified seeds. And agricultural extension reform, Mr. Speaker, privatization of agricultural extension services to unlock efficiency, responsiveness, and innovation will be achieved by engaging agricultural technology startups, revamping rural training centers into centers of excellence, and private service providers to improve farmer support and reduce the current farmer-to-extension officer ratio from 1:900 to 1:100. Under adoption of climate-smart agriculture, Mr. Speaker, in response to climate change, the strategy is to promote sustainable climate-smart practices such as conservation agriculture, agroecological production, integrated crop livestock systems, and agroforestry. Mr. Speaker, under investing in research, innovation, and development, investment in climate-smart and digital research to drive innovation in agriculture, partnerships among government, academia, and the private sector will be strengthened. Indigenous knowledge will be streamlined into modern science. Innovation hubs and demonstration farms will be established to pilot technologies, scale successful models, and drive agro-processing and value chain development. Under partnerships and collaboration, Mr. Speaker, the agri sector continues to accelerate partnerships with local and international stakeholders, private investors, academia institutions, multilateral organizations, and farmer associations to mobilize resources, to enhance skills, and expand market linkages. Under sustainable land management, Mr. Speaker, land tenure security remains a cornerstone of agricultural transformation. The sector is intensifying land registration to facilitate ownership, improve access to finance, and to promote sustainable land use. National land audits will be undertaken to address ownership disparities, while measures will be implemented to ensure maximum utilization of agricultural land. This will address the gap between the land availed for agricultural production and the agricultural output. Mr. Speaker, of 920,000 hectares allocated for traditional arable agriculture, only 360,000 hectares are actually utilized. On the other hand, Mr. Speaker, approximately 5.4 million hectares of land being 836 livestock ranches in tribal land and 603,000 hectares being 95 livestock farms in state land contribute marginally to production, as 80% of cattle still comes from communal grazing areas. Government, Mr. Speaker, also recognizes the strategic importance of land along international boundaries for biosecurity and intends to create buffer zones for patrol routes. Spatial planning instruments include the NSP 2036 and the Spatial Development Code, which will guide land use, infrastructure distribution, and settlement development to balance competing demands and promote inclusive economic growth. Under strengthening policy and legal frameworks, Mr. Speaker, to achieve excellent service delivery, my sector is reviewing several legislative instruments, including the National Agriculture Policy of 91, the Plant Protection Act of 2009, the Agrochemicals Act of 99, the Botswana Land Policy of 2019, the State Land Act of 1966, and Tribal Land Act of 2018. Concurrently, new policies and bills such as the Biosafety Bill, Food and Nutrition Policy, Fertilizer Strategy, and Dairy Production Strategy are under development. Under institutional capacity and human capital development, Mr. Speaker, the strategy is to strengthen institutional coordination, governance, and accountability across the sector. The intention is to work closely with the Ministry of Higher Education with a view to invest in human capital development, to build skills, to improve productivity, and to ensure inclusive growth within the agri workforce. Under state-owned enterprises, value chain development, Mr. Speaker, BUMP turnaround strategy includes modernizing infrastructure, expanding storage capacity, and introducing digital supply systems, timely farmer payments, and promoting value addition. Mr. Speaker, BMC seeks to stabilize operations, improve profitability, and contribute to the broader growth and competitiveness of Botswana's livestock industry. Under key performance indicators, Mr. Speaker, the agri-sector key performance indicators under NDP 12 are designed to measure our sector's true impact on Botswana's economy, on food security, and rural transformation. The indicators align with the Sustainable Economic Development and Agri-Sector True North. These are necessary to realize efficiency, productivity, and value addition. KPI 1, Agri-Sector Contribution to GDP, Mr. Speaker. This KPI measures the sector's overall contribution to the national GDP and reflects our progress in moving from subsistence to a commercially productive agricultural system. A baseline, that of 24-25, agri contributed approximately 1.7% to GDP, and the target is to increase it to at least 6% by the year 2030. A performance monitoring tool has been adopted, with data collection across production divisions. GDP contribution is calculated using Statistics Botswana data. A sector monitoring tool has been developed to track real-time progress and ensure accountability. KPI 2, percentage sector value added growth rate, Mr. Speaker. This KPI focuses on national food self-sufficiency, crop yields, and resilience to climate change. It aligns with SDG goal number 2, that of zero hunger, with a goal to end hunger, to achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. The baseline for 24-25 is minus 0.3%, and the target is to reach 4.8% by 2029-2030. KPI 3, Mr. Speaker, the share of agricultural exports to total exports. Mr. Speaker, this KPI assesses our success in increasing export earnings from processed and value-added agricultural products. It supports industrialization and trade expansion under NDP 12. The baseline for 24-25 agri value-added export growth rate stands at 1.1%, with a target to 3.8% by 2029-30. Performance will be monitored through the dashboard for accountability. Under KPI 4, Mr. Speaker, percentage change in food imports. Mr. Speaker, the fourth KPI focuses on the reduction of food imports, a critical measure of Botswana's progress towards food self-sufficiency, food sovereignty, and economic resilience. The baseline assessment for 2024 indicates that food imports accounted for 21.7% of total food imports. The sector aims to gradually reduce this figure to 13.7% by 2029-30. This includes cereals, milk, dairy products, fruits, and vegetables, commodities that constitute a significant portion of food imports. This target aligns with the goal of transforming Botswana's agriculture into a diversified, resilient, and export-oriented sector that ensures national food security and drives economic growth. Progress on this KPI is tracked annually through the International Merchandise Trade Statistics compiled by Statistics Botswana. KPI 5, Mr. Speaker, increased job creation within the agri sector. Mr. Speaker, the next KPI under the agri sector framework measures increased job creation, reflecting government's priority that agricultural growth must translate into meaningful employment. In 2024, the sector recorded a net job loss of 5,005 positions. Through targeted programs, we will reverse this trend and create, Mr. Speaker, 250,000 jobs by the year 2029-2030, with emphasis on youth and women. This sector will scale up diversified, cluster-based opportunities from production to processing and logistics supported by modern mechanization, climate-smart practices, and strengthened extension services that raise productivity and enable Botswana to feed domestic demand and export markets. These clusters will act as diversification anchors, catalyzing SME growth and value addition across priority value chain. Progress, Mr. Speaker, will be monitored quarterly through the quarterly multi-topic survey conducted by Statistics Botswana, with verification anchored in the National Employment Database, ensuring real-time tracking, program evaluation, and sustained livelihoods for rural communities. KPI 6, and Mr. Speaker, cereal production growth rate. Mr. Speaker, another critical performance indicator under the agri sector framework focuses on improving cereal production, which is central to Botswana's food security and resilience agenda. The baseline cereal production growth rate for 2024 stands at 11%. And the sector targets to increase to 80%, Mr. Speaker, by the year 2029-2030, reflecting consistent annual gains driven by investments in modern farming systems and improved inputs. Government, Mr. Speaker, seeks to strengthen cereal self-sufficiency, reduce reliance on imports, and contribute to SDG 2, that one of zero hunger. KPI 7, Mr. Speaker, is cannabis production. Mr. Speaker, the agri-transformation agenda also prioritizes the emergence of new high-value crops, particularly the development of cannabis production. This key performance indicator measures the quantity and quality of cannabis produced, processed, and sold for medicinal and industrial purposes. The baseline, Mr. Speaker, for 24-25 is zero. Targets have been set to achieve 42,000 tons by the year 2030. Through this strategic intervention, Botswana seeks to position itself as a regional leader in sustainable medicinal and industrial cannabis production, Mr. Speaker. KPI 8, Mr. Speaker, is cattle population increase. Mr. Speaker, livestock remains the backbone of Botswana's agricultural economy. This KPI focuses on increasing the national cattle population. The baseline herd in 2024 stood at around 1.6 million cattle, and the target is to grow this to at least 4.6 million by the year 2029-2030, making a substantial recovery and expansion of the national herd. This KPI, Mr. Speaker, supports the sector's goal of achieving sustainable livestock productivity and enhancing export competitiveness under the beef cluster development strategy. Mr. Speaker, by growing and sustaining our national herd, Botswana not only secures rural livelihoods and export earnings, but also strengthens the resilience and competitiveness of its livestock value chain. Mr. Speaker, in order to realize the above agricultural sector performance indicators, the sector will be implementing a range of programs focused on livestock, crops, and dairy production and processing. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the strategies I've outlined reflect our unwavering commitment to building a resilient, inclusive, and competitive agriculture sector that supports national food security, food sovereignty, employment creation, and drives Botswana's economic diversification agenda. This will be in alignment with the comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, the CADP, Kampala Declaration, support towards the operationalization of the SADC Regional Agriculture Phase 2, that's TOSA 2, and the UN Food Systems Pathways, pursuing export-led growth, scaling climate-smart practices, and research and development, and ramping core enablers, that is finance, infrastructure, digital systems, and extension to reach 6 to 10 GDP contribution, reduce imports, increase exports, and create jobs, 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 and jobs. With Parliament's continued support, the sector, Mr. Speaker, shall transform agriculture into a key pillar of sustainable prosperity for our nation. Mr. Speaker, I therefore move that the agriculture sector chapter and key performance indicators be approved as part of the 12th National Development Plan. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.